What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Rick Knows Hoops. I'm your host, Tyreek. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. This is a channel where we just talk about NBA basketball, so if you love hoops, this is the place for you. And I've been down bad the last couple of days. Allergy season finally caught me. I've been wanting to record, but just haven't been able to. But I'm feeling a little better now, so definitely wanted to turn that camera on and talk hoops with you guys. But I want to start with Morant making this comment last night after the Grizzlies game against the Timberwolves. Shaq asked him, where he ranks himself among point guards, and this is what Ja had to say.
Top five for sure. Simple as that.
I like that.
So yeah, Ja said he ranks himself as a top 5 point guard, which I don't hate when players, like, when you're asked that question. I mean, what do you expect them to say? Like, do you expect them to be like, oh, I'm not top 5 or I'm not top 10? Like, I love the confidence that Ja has, and I just think people are overreacting. Like when he said this, I didn't think it was a big deal at all. I mean, I would expect a competitive player to put himself in the top 5. Like, I would expect a lot of players to say that. Like, there's a lot of great point guards in the league that should be able to say that. That should say, yeah, I'm a top 5 point guard. I don't think it's outlandish at all. And you know what? He backed it up tonight, man. He backed it up tonight with another big game, 37 points, 10 assists against the Timberwolves. Him and Anthony Edwards were going back and forth. Ant had another, I think he had 42, which ties his career high. He had 42 earlier this season. I'm going to talk about him in a second. But Ja was just making big plays like all night, really just commanding the flow of the game for the Grizzlies on the offensive end. He's also making some really good defensive plays too. And it's scary how talented he is already without having much, like, I still don't think he's really unlocked like how to play the point guard in the NBA. Like, you can just tell he still goes like 100 miles an hour sometimes. So once he really learns how to like control the flow of the game, which he really did well tonight, especially in the pick and roll, he was really dicing up the Timberwolves in the pick and roll. He's really just going to be a special player, all-star player for years to come. So, back to those, to his comments, I don't hate it. Like, you're supposed to have confidence that you're a top 5 player at your position. You're supposed to have that kind of confidence, especially when you've displayed so much. And in 2 seasons in his NBA career, he's been battling, to make the playoffs in the Western Conference, which is always tough. You can have, like, there's been some years where teams in the West are like 5 games over 500, and they're still not even in the postseason. And I know they're not like a playoff lock right now, but last year, Memphis was pretty much at that 8 seed the entire regular season. And this season, they've pretty much been in that same position. And Morant is a big piece to that. I also want to give shout outs to a lot of the players on their team. Like, Desmond Baines had a really good rookie year. Dylan Brooks. Xavier Tillman's fielding very well. It's good to see Jaren Jackson finally back playing basketball. Valanciunas has had some great games. And there's so many guys that have contributed. And also Coach Taylor Jenkins has done a really good job with this squad as well. But as for the Timberwolves, I think I mentioned a few times they've been playing a lot better since the trade deadline. They've made this move since D'Angelo Russell came back to bring him off the bench, and he's been playing really well. It's kind of weird to have a max contract player coming off your bench, but it's been working, and they've been playing some really good basketball. Back to Anthony Edwards, I think he might almost have Rookie of the Year locked up. It's gonna be interesting. I know LaMelo's still gonna get a lot of praise because the Hornets are a really good team, and they're even better when he's on the court. But I don't know. Anthony Edwards he's been really scoring the ball so well the second half of the season. He's taking over games several times. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that, award finally shakes up. But hey, Ant-Man's really been stepping it up lately. And, just shout out to him for, getting better as the season's gone on. Another team I want to talk about is the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm going to talk about them real quick. They were playing very bad when Dame was out, obviously, because it's Damian Lillard, but he came back and you could just tell he wasn't playing at 100%, for what his injury was. And then, the last, I think, 4 or 5 games, he's really been, looking like how he was early on in the season. It's just what Dame is. Like, he's a very great player, one of the best in the league. And now the Portland's in a weird position too. Like, the 5 through like 7 seeds in the West, they're like, I think all half game separates them. It's them, the Trailblazers, the Mavericks, and the Lakers. So, whoever gets that 7 seed, it's going to be a good team that gets that 7 seed. But I don't know. The Dame is playing a lot better. Portland has been playing better since they went on that little losing streak. So, that race for that, to not be in the play is going to be very interesting. And it's also going to be interesting who's the 8 seed. But it seems like whoever's going to be the 7th seed is between those three teams. I don't think Memphis or Golden State are going to be able to catch those teams ahead of them. I don't even think it's mathematically possible for real. But it's good to see Portland is getting their rhythm back a little bit. But I still think a lot can change for them in the offseason. I saw an article by BR that said Terry Stotts is probably done after the season. I don't know how accurate that is, but I believe it. I really think it's time. I mean, Terry Stotts has been there a long time. I think since 2012 or maybe 2013 at the latest, but he's been there a long time. And they've had some good success with what they've had on this team. Still, I think, to me, a very underperforming team this season because I thought they were getting back to their roots when they added Covington, they added Derrick Jones Jr. to getting, those defensive wing players that can help Damon CJ because we know they're not plus defenders. And that's the same thing that Mo Harkless and Al-Farouq Aminu really helped this team thrive at when they made that conference finals run. But that might just be the cap on this team. Like, that conference finals run might just be the ceiling on this team. And honestly, that's not that bad because they lost to a dynasty type team with the KD, Steph Curry Warriors. So, Portland. And they have made some like head scratching moves. Like the Gary Trent move was kind of head scratching. Trading him for Norman Powell was a little off the wall to me, but it's going to be a very interesting offseason to see what's next for Portland. But I definitely think getting just a new, voice in the locker room is probably the first step to that, either rebuild or revamp of this team or retooling, whatever you want to call it. So, that's just something to keep an eye on for sure. Another score that's kind of surprising, the Hawks beat up on they had the best record, but not after this game. The Phoenix Suns, they beat them by like 32 points tonight. It was a competitive first half, and then third quarter, Atlanta just took off. And Atlanta has a tendency to do that to some teams. Like they really get hot, and they got guys that can fill it up quick, like Gallinari, Trae Young. If Bogdanovich gets hot, he can fill it up. They got guys that can really shoot the lights out. Kevin Huerter too. Clint Capella has been a beast for this team this season, and it's funny because they traded for him last year, and we didn't get to see him play with Trae Young, but it just seems like that their chemistry gets better and better every time they touch the floor. And this is a pretty I want to say like statement type win because the Hawks are trying to secure their playoff spot without being in the play-in. So this is a very statement type win, especially when the Celtics get a win tonight. Miami's right behind them too, so this is a very statement win. For the Celtics, good to see Kemba Walker back on the court. He's missed a few games. I think his knee's been bothering him again, but it's good to see him back on the court and playing well. He tied a season high tonight with 32 points. Jason Tatum continues to play very well lately. And they beat a team that they should be in the Orlando Magic. I don't got much to say about them. Another game that I want to talk about that I was really watching was the Bucks and the Wizards. This was a game that I think the Wizards probably should have won this game, honestly. I mean, they had every opportunity down the stretch to really command this game. But even when Giannis fouled out, Drew Holiday really controlled the flow of the game offensively in the pick and roll because the Wizards pretty much made the decision that they're going to load up on the pick and roll. They're going to take away Brook Lopez on the roll. And that was leaving guys wide open. I mean, Pat Connaughton hit 2 big threes. Bryn Forbes hit another big 3 too. And that really is what kept the Wizards from, I think, winning this game, honestly. I mean, Bradley Beal did everything he could down the stretch. I mean, they ran a flare screen for him. He made a tough three-pointer. Then made a 3 coming off the curl. Like, he made big shots. And then Garrison Matthews threw up a half-court shot that almost went in. Like, I thought it was good. But, hey, the Wizards, good win for the Bucks, given that Giannis fouled out and Drew Holiday was able to still control the flow of this game. But, for the Wizards, definitely a tough loss, but they could be a scary team to play in that play-in tournament for sure. I still firmly stand on that. They've been playing a lot better. Now games like this when Bradley Beal is really the only guy flowing offensively is kind of scary, but we'll definitely see how that works out. Another team that's been hot recently, we've been talking about the New York Knicks a lot. They definitely cooled off tonight in Denver. Jokic, I think, outscored the Knicks in the first quarter. Like, he was going crazy in the first quarter. He had 24 in the first quarter. And I got asked a question tonight. Who would is Chris Paul the MVP? It's Nikola Jokic's award to lose. And he would have to just play like a bum the rest of the season. Like, he would have to be absolutely terrible the rest of the way. I don't see that happening. I don't think he's missed a game all year. Last time I checked, he has not missed a game. He leads the Nuggets in every category. They've been dealing with injuries left and right. Even before Jamal Murray went down, he missed time earlier in the season. I talked about this so much. It's his award to lose, and I don't see him losing it. And the Nuggets, I didn't think that they would still be this good of a team after the losses that they had in the offseason. I thought that would drastically hurt them, and it just put the onus on Nikola Jokic to step his game up even more. And he's been amazing this season. And you think they're only like 3 games behind the Suns. Like, they could still potentially make a push, but I didn't think that they would be this good. But shout out to them for still playing great basketball, man. And now back to the best record in the NBA is the Utah Jazz. Dominant win tonight against the Spurs, a team that is on the brink of the play-in as well. And still no Donovan Mitchell. Mike Conley was out, but Jordan Clarkson is looking like his first half of the season form. Dropping 30 tonight, and it just seems like everybody was hitting shots. I mean, Bogdanovich was knocking shots down. Even like Matt Thomas in the fourth quarter, he couldn't miss. Like, guys were just knocking down shots, and guys were making big plays. I just want to see this team get healthy, though. That's really the main thing right now. And Rudy Gobert was playing great defensively. Even on switches, he was playing really well on the perimeter. He's doing a very good job defensively. I got to give him his credit there. And then the last game, last 2 games, I didn't watch either one, but the Sixers beat up on the Rockets. I think Kevin Porter Jr. went down with an ankle injury. I hope he's okay. I don't know if I mentioned when he dropped 50 last week, but he dropped 50 last week. 50 points, 11 assists. He gives me, they call him Baby Harden. He low-key looks like Baby Harden out there. Like, I'm not even going to lie, he really does. But hopefully he's okay with that ankle injury. Joel looked dominant once again. I don't got too much to say about Philly. If you guys watch the videos, you know how I feel about them. I think they can be a dangerous team in the playoffs for sure. Then the last game, I don't know how long Marvin Bagley's been back, but he played tonight. I feel like I haven't seen him play basketball all season. I know he's been out for like the last 2 months or so with, I think, a hand injury, but he had a very big game. I think he had 31 and 12. That's just, hopefully, I want to see him be able to build off of that. I really do. I still think he has a lot of potential. I just think, staying healthy is one thing. Then the other thing is just, making the most of your opportunities and, being good when you're playing and when you're getting minutes. I still have pretty good hopes for him. I hope it's not like a bust situation. I really don't hope it's like that, but it's good to see him back on the court. It really feels like I haven't seen him play basketball in so long. But it's good to see him back on the court. As for the Pacers, I don't know what's wrong with this team, man. I really don't. I wish I could say what's wrong with this team, but I don't know. I really don't. But they're gonna be in the play-in too. Like, that's pretty much solidified. I don't know how most people think about the play-in, but I think it's actually a very good idea. The only thing I don't like is that the 7 seeds involved. Like, that, the 7 seeds shouldn't be involved, man. Like, if you look at the 7 seeds in each conference, they are significantly better than the 8 seeds or the team fighting for that 8 seeds. Like, they're significantly better than those teams. I don't think that they should be involved at all. Like, they're not barely sneaking into the playoffs. They are like 4 or 5 games above the team behind them. Like, I really don't think that, the 7 seeds should be involved. But other than that, it's good to see, like, star players or, really good players still playing, at this time of the year. Because I was watching NBA TV and they were mentioning how Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook in a normal season, they would probably be shut down like a few weeks ago. They would probably be shut down, let's shoot for a lottery, see, what kind of draft pick we can get. But these guys are playing, a lot of minutes in these games because they know every game is critical. And it's been feeling like the playoffs for a lot of teams over the last like week and a half or so, because every game means so much. Like, it's almost like college basketball. Every game means a lot for your seeding and stuff. So I'm a fan of the play-in for that factor. The only thing I don't like is that the 7 seed is involved. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, because a lot of people say it's not good. A lot of players say it's not good, but I like it. I think it's good. It definitely worked well in the bubble, so I think it could be very interesting in the regular season too. But depending on how it goes, we might not see it again, because it seems like a lot of players don't like the idea. But hey, if you don't want to be in the play-in, just play good basketball all year long. That's all you gotta do, man. But hey, I'm gonna catch y'all next time, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe, remember that, and I'll be back, y'all. Peace.